mail on them. Says Charlie Barnes right here on the envelope. Frank Hess peered at the envelope nearsightedly. From El Paso. He chuckled thinly. You sure you ain't been writing to one of them matrimonial advertisements since Henry Pelham done cut you out with Peggy Aiken? Charlie's bronzed complexion took on a deeper hue. At the neckline of his shirt, the color showed a deep red. In the first place, I ain't admitting that Pelham has cut me out yet with Peggy. And in the second place, you know dang well I ain't mailed no letters out of here to no marriage advertisements. From what I hear, Henry Pelham's got the inside track with Peggy, and no mistake. It's a damn shame, too, Charlie, but he's got the get-up and gall that a girl like Peggy likes. Law's sake, you've been courting her for 3 years, and I bet you ain't popped the question yet. That, said Charlie Barnes strongly, ain't neither here nor there. His tone indicated that the discussion of his courtship was ended. He stepped forward 2 paces and picked up the letter. Sure enough, it was addressed to Charlie Barnes, Chapparell, Arizona. He frowned down at it and turned it over uncertainly in his hands, murmuring, Now who do you reckon'd be writing me a letter from El Paso? Frank Hess hobbled back to his rocking chair. Best way I know is to open it and find out, he snapped. That's what most folks does. Charlie leaned one elbow on the counter and scratched an itchy spot behind his right ear. He tore the envelope open carefully and shook out a single folded sheet of paper. He squinted down at it and moved his lips to form each word as he laboriously read. Dear Charlie, I'm in El Paso, heading back to Arizona, where I'm going to fight that murder charge I run from 3 years ago. I never killed Sheriff Edwards, Charlie, and I can prove it if I'm given half a chance. But I want to know how the land lays before I ride into Chapparell again, for I can't do much good if they string me up before I can nose around some. So I want you to meet me at the old Bar L headquarters south of town when I ride in. That'll be in about a week, I reckon. I'll wait there for you, and if you can't come, please send me some word. Hugh Aiken. Charlie Barnes stared at the signature a long time after his lips ceased moving. Hugh Aiken, Peggy's brother. The Rio Kid was coming home after 3 years below the Mexican border. From that bold signature on the letter in front of him, Charlie lifted his gaze to a fly-specked reward poster conspicuously tacked above the window. He stared hypnotically at the faded picture of a clear-eyed and laughing youth. Below Hugh Aiken's picture, bold black lettering proclaimed, $10,000 reward for the capture of the Rio Kid, dead or alive. For 3 years that same reward poster had hung there above the post office window, a constant reminder to the citizens of the little border town that one of them had turned killer and renegade, had murdered foully from behind in the night, and escaped into Mexico a few jumps in front of an outraged posse. Since that black night 3 years ago, meager reports concerning the Rio Kid had drifted back to his hometown. The appellation had been hung on him in border haunts because of his extreme youth and a fancied resemblance to Billy the Kid, whose gun exploits were still fresh in the memories of Western desperados. After crossing the border, the Rio Kid had been forced to kill again and again, though never more was he accused of throwing down on an opponent from behind. As his reputation grew, so had his list of victims, for there were always those eager to gain the notoriety that would come to the man who beat the Rio Kid to the draw, and the legend of his gun prowess had grown by leaps and bounds until it was impossible to determine where fact ended and fancy began. Yet to men like Charlie Barnes, who had known and loved the young Hugh Aiken, whose picture adorned the reward poster, it was difficult to associate the Rio Kid with the laughing youngster who had enlivened the community with his boyish pranks. Reckless and wild he had been, hard-riding and hot-tempered, with an avid zest for life that had led him into many minor brushes with the law, but certainly without any of the earmarks of one who would turn into a cold-blooded killer such as the Rio Kid was reputed to be. Charlie Barnes's troubled gaze dropped back to the letter in his hand. He drew in a deep sighing breath and got a bandana from his hip pocket to mop beads of sweat from his broad face. Frank Hess's high, cackling laughter brought him back to the present with a jerk. I can read the signs, I reckon. A sweatin' and a sighin' over your letter, hey? Don't try to fool an old man, Charlie. You ain't got nothing to be ashamed of. It ain't fittin' for a man to live alone, and there ain't no spare heifers in these parts, so why shouldn't you get one from El